Hello, everybody. I'm Evan Hunt, reporting from Political Hub 101. Now, tonight, I know it's very late, but these two great political pundits wanted to debate it out. Joining me now are both Democrats, Mr. on the left, Blue Dog, Gamingislife, and D4 Senate nominee. Hello, Gaming.
Hello, Evan.
And also joining me to debate fellow Gamingislife is fellow Democrat Harvey Long, former vice chairman and D4 senator. Hello, Harvey. All right, now, do the candidates want to do opening statements?
No, let's just get into the issues.
All right, so our first question is going to be about, marijuana. Do you believe that marijuana should be decriminalized and legalized? Or do you think there should be restrictions? Or do you have another policy? Mr. Gamingislife, you may begin.
I definitely do believe it should be decriminalized, but not to the effect where it's basically anyone can take it, no matter the age. It does damage your brain a little bit if your brain isn't fully developed. So I would say around 21. Let's give people some more freedom. I say around 18. So 18 years old, you can smoke weed legally. And yeah, that's basically what I believe and what should be done in the topic. I believe everyone who's in jail for weed and only weed, as in not selling weed illegally but smoking it illegally, should be put free. People who sell weed without a permit obviously shouldn't be. They should have less and etc. Did Harvey just leave?
Oh my God, Harvey.
Oh my gosh, whatever. You just want to have a political discussion about something then.
Sure. I did not know where Harvey went. Let me quickly. I think you left match. Well, all right. We're just gonna finish this off really quickly. I just want to ask you some other questions. What is your position on the corporate tax rate?
I mean, it really depends. If we're talking about if I can have it my way, which it won't happen, I would say abolish. If I can't and I need to compromise, I would say around 20%. Lower it to that extent, at least for small businesses. I believe that is what's correct to do. But again, I think it really depends. I'm willing to compromise. That's really one of the main things I feel like I have pointed out. Despite this whole idea of me being a quote unquote radical on some issues, I'm still in one to compromise and to talk to. I guess that's what people really don't understand about me, but it's whatever.
All right. We're just gonna ask you two more questions, and we'll just end due to Mr. Huntington leaving the call. What is your position? Do you believe that we should build a wall on the southern border?
I'm sorry. Did you say, do I believe we should build a wall?
Yeah. Do you think that we should build a wall?
Absolutely not.
Do you want to elaborate?
Why? Okay. Too much money.
And lastly, what is your position on lobbying in Washington and campaign finance reform?
We need a finance campaign reform, obviously. Okay, here's the thing. Corporate companies need to stop paying politicians. Why? I mean, it makes sense from a business perspective. As someone who might be a future businessman and actually might open a company and devote his time to that particular company in the future. Maybe a couple weeks, maybe a month, 2 months. We see what happens. From a business perspective, it makes complete sense to do so. From an American standpoint, though, from being a non-business owner, it doesn't. It really doesn't. And I wish it would stop because when that happens, the politicians are bought. They don't represent the people, but they represent the corporations. I mean, need to stop paying them. Uh, so lobbying in total could be a bad thing most of the time. We need to get money out of politics. That's something that progressives preach, and that's about one of the highest thing they always gets right. That's something I kind of always believe, even during my conservative.
All right. So, is there any topics you're passionate about that you'd like to discuss?
Immigration, I absolutely immigration, and
Sure. You can.
really, and reforming the hood are the two issues I'm most passionate about. So
Want to
let
go
me
into them?
let me explain the immigration part. I am fairly liberal than what most people think on immigration. People know I'm a blue dog, so it's like, okay, you a blue dog, so you conservative in about every topic. No, immigration is something I'm really liberal about. I am an immigrant myself. My dad is an immigrant. Uh, my mom is also an immigrant. The only non-immigrant in my family, direct family, is my sister. My sister was born in New York City. So, knowing that, I obviously I'm going to be biased, I guess you can say, towards that particular option. But I had lots of things happen to me over the years, which I'm not comfortable sharing right now. But what my policy is basically this. Um, we should obviously protect the border. That's common sense. Borders are borders for a reason. I don't think no one really gets it, but we should make it much more easier to have people come in the states. The people who's already here that aren't criminals, we should give them the opportunity to stay here and potentially become citizens in the future. We should make it much more cheaper for people to come here, which is another thing people don't realize. It's expensive to try get a visa and come here to the States. It's not cheap at all. So you have to go to the illegal right and not do that. Unless you get someone that is married to an American citizen or American legal resident, it's going to be extremely difficult for you to get it and extremely economical difficult for you to get it. If you don't have the money, you can't do it. It's simple as that. So we know this, right? And those are three big factors. So if a kid comes here, it also definitely more opportunities towards families of whatever number, because obviously the parents wants to give the best opportunity to their life, even if it means one of the parents go and separates. They come over here to the States, build enough money for them to come over here, which is another thing. The separation of family that many people say, oh, these families has done it themselves, is different from what our president is doing now. The separation of families that our president doing this now is you are separated, but not for a good reason. You're just separated because I said so, and that's it. The families who separate themselves are it's for a good reason. It's for, okay, we're gonna have to sacrifice sometimes so I can go and live in a different place, build the money, tr- and make a good living, so you guys can come over here and have a better opportunity, which is something that many people really don't understand in that form. But yes, so that's my immigration policy. My my hood reform policy. Now, hood reform. What exactly is that? It's reforming the projects in poorer areas. So for one, this is obvious, better education and more funding into their education. that should be hands down one of the first things people should do, because people can't grow up and become successful people without knowing a few things. Obviously, not everything in school we need to know. I mean, that's just a fact. But most things we need to know, we need to definitely put more programs inside that's onto building their future. Saying, hey, what do you want to do? And more financially aid programs as well inside schools, where we teach them how to work around money, how to save money, etc., etc. Because not everyone's going to do so. Most schools don't do so. And it's the lack of education schools has when it comes to that topic is sad. So I guess I kind of went a little bit into education policy, but it kind of ties in with reforming the hood. It's a big part of the hood. Another thing, which is extremely important, hands down one of the most important things, is jobs. Uh, we need jobs in the hood, and we need more jobs in the hood. We need more small businesses to grow. Uh, Obviously, we need to protect those small businesses, and we need to support those small businesses. So we need a job growth, and I know that's kind of vague saying it, but to do that, you have to really understand why I'm a conservative, why I believe in fiscally conservative policies, because it has shown to grow jobs. But now we need to analyze and try to find a way to grow jobs in these areas, good paying jobs. So that also means raising the minimum wage so they can have a good living. Once they make good enough amount of money, then now they can move out of the projects. And the less people that move out, the less people inside the project, the more you will see a change, the more beautiful it could be. Because when you have so much people, it's a higher chance of people arguing with each other, fighting each other, dirty streets, etc., than if it was less and less people. And really, the ultimate goal is to have no projects and have people being able to pay for stuff. But until then, we get job growth, get good paying jobs or decent paying jobs or livable wage jobs in these areas, because that's what we need in the projects. We also need cleaner streets, a more better cleaning program. That's something that only cities can really dictate. Not really the federal government, but you know. And what else? I'm missing something. And no, I'm missing something, but it's just not in my mind. Oh yeah, and then of course, police force. Having the police actually have conversations with people in the projects, having police actually having relationships with people at the projects, because if you don't, I'm sorry, they're gonna shoot black people. Why? Because we have this bias on blacks, on Hispanics, right? So we know this. So what we need to do as American citizens is have our cops have a relationship with our people in the projects, have them be friends and stuff. Sure, it might be harder for them to arrest them if they do something bad. But hell, man, at least they're not doing discrimination. And I'm pretty sure they will still do it, because that's how cops do. They have to go over these things that they don't want to do. Because their job, first of all, is to protect the hood and make sure everything is fine. So we know this. We need to have the cops have better relationships with the projects. And that's basically the hood reform, the four-step hood reform. Like I said, it's a policy I'm definitely going to put inside whenever I get elected into any office. It has been my main principle since I came here in Mac. And when I run for Congress in the future, that's going to be my main principle ever. So, yeah, those are the two particular topic that I am most passionate about.
Thank you so much for that great insight. We have to go, but at Political Hub 101, we want to thank everybody for tuning in. We heard many great debate topics from Mr. Gaming is Life and Gaming is Life, and Saturday Harvey Long could not attend. There's an unfortunate circumstance, but at Political Hub, this is Evan Hunt with Gaming is Life, signing off for the night.